right, y'all, ladies and gents, welcome back. Listen up. You see the title. You will never understand algebra until you watch this. And this is true because what I'm getting ready to show you today is all about like terms. And it's really one of the key factors, one of the main key factors that you need when it comes down to algebra, because it's something that'll be used pretty much every day, like I told you in the last video. All right, so real quick, this layout that you see in front of you, let's start over in the left hand corner up top where it says solve for x. I gave you this somewhat long example just so you can get an idea of how like terms work, and that's what we're going to go over today. On the right side, I have some questions that's going to help you gauge if you understand what's going on. And then if you look down here where it says word, definition, and examples, you see on this left column where it says word, the word is going to be term, and then I'll give you some details about terms, and then I'll tell you about like terms. All of this is key information. You do not want to skip this video. Definitely pause it if you need to write something down, but you do not want to skip this video. All right. In the definition column, I will give you definitions for terms, the details about terms, and I will give you the definition of like terms. And then, of course, all the way on the right, this column where it says examples, I will give you examples. All right. So let's get started. First thing I want you to know is what a term is. So if you look at this example that says solve for x, it says 5x minus 35c divided by 15 equals 20 plus 3x. And some of y'all are like, yo, you won't even try it. Don't go there, all right? Because when I explain to you what I'm getting ready to explain to you, you'll be able to do problems 3 times this size, okay? So the first thing is, what is a term? So let me just set my little bullet. All right. Now, a term. A term is very simply a variable. Okay. A variable, or, and you know what? Let me just be clear. When I say variable, I'm talking about a letter. All right. Like X or Y. Okay. It can be a variable, or it can be a single number. And when I say a single number, and I'll show you some examples on the side after I just write the definition, or it can be a single number and a variable excuse my spelling, together. All right. So let me show you what I'm talking about. The term, or the word term, can be a variable, which is a letter, or a single number. And when I say single number, I don't mean like 1 or 2 all the way up to 9. I mean, it could be 10, it could be 100, it could be 200. All right. Or a single number and a variable together. Let me show you what I mean. All right. So when I say a variable, or when I say, a variable, what I mean is X or Y or Z, whatever letter you want. Let's say A. It really doesn't matter. Any letter, okay? Or when I say a term can be a single number, it can be a number like 10. Just come back up here. It could be a number like 10. It can be 5. It can be 9. It can be 107. It really doesn't matter, okay? As long as it's a number. Or you can put them together. Let's say like if you have 10x, or if you have 5y, or you have 9z, or 107a. All right. Hopefully you get my drift. What I'm saying is that These are all considered terms, okay? And if we glance back up at our example up here, you would see that 5x, that's considered a term. You can see 35c, that's considered a term. 15 is considered a term. 20 is considered a term. 3x is considered a term. All of these are terms, all right? You have to know that. Now let's look down, let's scoot down to details about terms, okay? And I want to be very specific about this. When we talk about terms, this is also how you identify if it is a term separate from another. Terms are separated by the plus sign, minus sign, equal sign, and division sign. Let's fix the spelling of this word. So terms are separated by the plus sign, the minus sign, the equal sign, and the division sign. So that even further proves what I'm saying, that 5x is a term. 35c is the term. It's separated by this minus sign. Then you got divided by 15. That division sign is right in the middle. So that proves, okay, yeah, this really is a term. So the equal sign is here. And then you have a 20. Oh, wow, that's another term. Then you have the plus sign. Then it's a 3x. Oh, that's another term. So this is just showing you in detail that each of these things are terms. And you're going to see how you can break this down real simple when you talk about like terms. But first, let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about besides what you see up here in the left-hand corner. So for an example, you see 5x plus 2. Okay. Those are two different terms. Why are they two different terms? It's separated by a plus sign. Okay. Let's take any other number. 71 minus 4c. Those are two terms. Why? They're separated by the minus sign. Okay? And let's give you, I'll just throw one more in there. I think you get the drift. Let's say 7y plus 10 equals 70. Take a second, think. How many terms are here? Okay, there's 3 terms. Why are there 3 terms? 7y, okay? And actually, if you look up here, you see like 5y. You have a number and a letter together. That's one term, okay? Plus 10 equals 70. The 7y and the 10 are separated by the plus sign, and the 10 and the 70 are separated by the equal sign. You have 3 different terms, okay? Now let's move down to like terms, the bread and butter. Like terms just make life so much easier. Once you get this, it'll be all money from there. All right, let me just turn that to a bullet, and let's come down to the like terms, okay? Let's talk about the definition of like terms, all right? So like terms are terms that have the same letter, or I'm gonna say variable. That's the correct way to say it. The same variable, and we'll put letter in parentheses. That's our little easy word. Okay, same variable or letters, and or powers. Okay, and when I say power, I mean exponent. Exponent is when you have the letter and then you have that little tiny letter. Excuse me, you have a number or letter, and then you have a little tiny number right in the top right-hand corner. Okay, that's the exponent. That little number in the corner. So let's go down, and if you don't understand Exactly what I'm talking about. Just go on Google and Google exponent, and it'll show you, and you'll say, oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, so like terms, let me give you some examples of like terms. Let's say 2x, and today is the 6th, so I'll use 6. 2x and 6x, they are like terms. The reason why they're like terms is because they have the same letter behind the number, okay? If I were to say 2 and 6x, these are unlike terms, meaning that you can't just combine these, okay? You have to do other things, okay? If I were to say 4xy and let's use 36xy, those are like terms. They have the same letters behind them, okay? And I'll give you one more, since we're talking about powers. 2x to the power of 2. Just imagine this 2 is like that. This 2 right here. Just imagine that's the 2 that's in the right-hand corner right up top. Your exponent. So let's say 2x to the power of 2 and 4x to the power of 2. That is also like terms. They have the same letter, and this time they also have the same power. Okay, they have the same exponent. They're the same. So you can combine like terms. And you're going to see in another video I do after this how we take this information and we combine like terms, and it just gets simpler and simpler and simpler because we understand the foundation of what we're doing. Okay, so now let's just take a look up here as we're coming to a close. Okay, right here where it says solve for x. Our example says 5x minus 35c divided by 15 equals 20 plus 3x. So my question to you, and this should be light work. If it's not, make sure you watch this video again, or leave a comment, or ask your teachers, or ask myself what the information is, what the answer is. How come I'm missing this? Okay? But definitely watch the video again to see if you can get it on your own first. All right? So what are the terms? Well, I actually told you before, the terms are 5x. Let me take this off bold. 5x, negative 35c. And if you're figuring it out, go right ahead of me. 15, 20, 3x. Oh, that's beautiful right there. 5x, negative 35c, 15, 20, 3x. They're all terms. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms in this equation. Okay? What are the like terms? Well, let's look at what has a letter behind it. Well, 5x has a letter behind it. Negative 35c has a letter behind it. And we know that letters are also called variables. And then 3x has a letter behind it. So, well, the 5x and the 3x, those have the same letter. So we can say that those are like terms. 5x and 3x. Definitely like terms, no questions, hands down. Well, the negative 35c, I don't see anything else there with a c behind it. So that's not a like term for anything, okay? So we don't have to worry about that right now. But this 15 and the 20, now, those two are also terms. If you look right up top here, we can use this. Those two are terms, 15 and 20, but they don't have any variable. They don't have any letter behind them. So we're going to say those are like terms also. So let's go 15 and 20. These are our like terms. These are the terms that we can combine when we start doing larger equations like this. These are the terms here on this line, okay, that we can combine to make our lives easier when we handle these larger equations, okay? And then it says, what sign or operation separate the terms? Well, if we look right back down here where it says details about terms, it's pretty much the same answer, okay? you have your minus sign, your division sign, your equal sign, and your plus sign that separate the terms. So let me just write that in here. So minus sign, the division sign, I'm going to actually write that in. The equal sign and the plus sign. Okay, those are the operations, with the exception of the equal sign. Equal sign is not really an operation, but those are the operations slash and or signs that separate each term. So now that you got this information, and you'll see in some later videos that I do, you're really going to see how all of this comes into play and how it just makes life easier when it comes to solving for X. You'll see how smooth things start to get, because you'll be able to combine so many terms because of this. And then you'll learn what you can and can't combine, and it'll just be wonderful for you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's helping you and you think that this is something that someone else can use, make sure you share it. All right, share this information so everybody can start to up their skills when it comes to math. All right, tell a friend that's going to tell a friend, and hopefully everybody can get a lot better with math and of course solving for X. Until next time, peace out.